What is up, everybody? I'm Sean.
And I'm Tom. And
And we're
we're the
the
Black
Block
Bros.
Bros. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded pretty. First one of 2023. That sounded pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, after about our usual speed with that, so.
Pretty close. Pretty close. Happy 2023, everybody. Welcome back to a new year. And same new year, same shit. Welcome to Block Bros. I don't know. We didn't prepare. We haven't been on live in a while. So thank you for your
Definitely been a
patience,
few
first
weeks.
of all. Yeah, thank you
Right.
for your patience on letting us take a break for the holidays. And since the holidays happened and the new year, we probably have a lot to talk about. But let's keep it condensed. Tom, give me something fun you did over either the New Year's or the holidays. Just a fun little thing.
Um, let's see. Well, I just got back from a tattoo convention over the weekend, which you were definitely a part of. That was a whole hell of a fun weekend,
Yes, sir.
honestly. Like, if y'all have never been to a tattoo convention, it's basically like, I don't know. I think this year there were 700 of us tattooing at the same
Dang.
time in like one place. And like lots of oddie stores and art and just lots of crazy stuff. And it's basically just my people gathering for a weekend to like come and tattoo and party. And it's a lot of fun. You know, there's contests and stuff. I took home a award for third in small color. You know, usually grab
Woo.
one a year. So good to get my streak going with that. You know.
Nice.
But
Yeah, congratulations.
yeah, thanks, bro. I know it was a fun week, and I'm really glad you could join me there. Like it's a great
Yeah, it was a
time,
blast.
honestly.
We basically spent the whole weekend getting sloshed in a hotel room and
Yeah,
bars and hanging out with our friends. It was a lot of fun. Um, what did I do? What it was one cool thing I did over the break. I joined an armored combat league. If anyone
yeah,
knows what that is, I'm a prospect for an armored combat league. What that means is I'm getting my ass kicked by them. So essentially, if you don't know what armored combat is, think of like night fights, like knights literally fighting. That's what armored combat league is. And so I went to one practice with them so far. I'm going to two more this weekend, and I'm pretty excited about it. But basically, they beat the shit out of you. You get to learn how to do like grappling and armor and stuff, and use weapons to smack the shit out of each other. It's been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it. I got one of my other friends involved in it too, so we've been really enjoying ourselves. I did realize I'm incredibly out of shape though. Like I go to the gym decently, like at least like 2 to 3 days a week, and I am out of shape for this. So that
yeah.
sucks.
It seems like something really hard to honestly get into and like do. I can't like personally like imagine like getting my shit rocked by like actual like medieval weapons like that. You know, I love that shit as much as the next guy. I'll just be on the other side of the fence watching my best friend get his shit kicked in by a whole bunch of people. But
It really, I think when I was there, I noticed that like it seemed to attract a very specific person, and that specific person was me and people like me.
yeah,
And I was like, wow, everyone here has like the same background. Neat. It was weird. But anyways, what game are we talking about today, Tom?
we are talking about Octodad and specifically Octodad Dadliest Catch. So it's the sequel to the first one,
What a
and
name.
yeah, such a great game, honestly.
Do you want me to talk about the intro, or do you want to do the intro? You could choose. Oh, since we're out of practice, guys, so this
Right.
episode's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I'll get the intro going here. Blah 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 blah. Blah. I'm just playing fucking octopus. Goddamn
That,
sounds.
that, that actually is exactly what the Octodad sounds like in the game. That was like a dead-on match, so I'll give you that one.
Right. But welcome to like Octodad, Deadliest Catch. It's a puzzle game, kind of. I mean, it feels like a puzzle yet walking platforming weird game with really hard controls. It was developed by Young Horses, and it's a game where you're basically just trying to be your average dad. You know, you're trying to do your regular tasks from mowing lawns to like grocery shopping, but this game really does a good job at making it incredibly difficult to, you know, mow lawns or go grocery shopping or putting toys away. It's like that times a million with the controls this game offers. And your whole goal while doing that is to basically be incognito, like be a human, even though you're an octopus. You're kind of in disguise. Um, so basically, you're just trying to not tip anyone off that you're an octopus. This game gets honestly really crazy because along with everything, which if anyone knows like kind of quap controls, like where it's just like every limb kind of works like that. So there's also like multiplayer modes where each person like gets a certain amount of limbs, and then this game gets absolutely off the fucking rails, I will say. Like it's
Definitely.
the weirdest experience I've played in a video game, especially control wise, and it's fun, like, and frustrating.
Definitely. And for everyone who isn't aware, this game did come out in 2014, January 30th, 2014. Almost happy birthday to it. Oh my gosh. Um so if you're wondering if you've heard about this game, you probably have heard about this game. It was like one of those like it hit the Octodad and Octodad Dadliest Catch hit the pan really hot for like when Let's Plays were a big thing. So like Markiplier and all, and like PewDiePie and all them played this game. So if you
Yep.
think you've heard of this game, you definitely have. It's we have no time limit on the games we review here, just so you guys know. We just pick out a game we want to review and we talk about it. But no, this is definitely one of those classic games, just like we were talking about, that a lot of Let's Play, I almost said VTubers, that's like the current thing. Sorry, Let's Play people talk about. But yeah, I totally agree with everything Tom said. Essentially, you're just an octopus that's pretending to be a dad, and you don't want to make anyone find out you're an octopus. With that being said, let's talk about the storyline, if I can remember where I put the thing to change it to storyline.
Storyline.
There it is. It's been a minute. Sorry, guys.
A little rusty. It's
A little rusty, shaking out the rust. I'll take the storyline. So, as much as this game is a quote unquote like a puzzle platformer game, I would be willing to say that it's mostly a story game, because it is one narrative all the way through. So, if you don't want spoilers, this is your key to just stop listening to this episode now, because there's literally no way to talk about it without doing spoilers. So, and if you also haven't played this game, it's from 2014, so you're a little late. It's almost 10 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 8 years late, bro.
Yeah. So the storyline is it's set after the events of the original game. It is a sequel, quote unquote, to the original game. We open with a flashback of Scarlet, which is the wife, and Octodad getting married and eventually settling into their lives and their mundane routines. They have children who are named Tommy and Stacy. They basically you have to settle into your routine as a dad, doing a bunch of mundane chores, like Tom said, like mowing the lawn or going grocery shopping or cutting wood or helping your family around the house. And if that's just like part of the game, that's really difficult and really fun to. We'll get into the controls and stuff later, and then after that, they decide they want to go to the aquarium, which I always thought was a really weird take, because like you're an octopus, that's scary, but
Yeah,
whatever.
like going to fish prison, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's literally fish prison, dude.
and you're just like gonna casually like, yeah, sure, whatever.
No, he fights back a little bit, and then his wife gets all pissy. Actually, in the game, like he fights back, and his wife gets pissy about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, while you're at the aquarium, Octodad does end up getting captured by his arch rival. I think his name is Chef Fujimoto, and he throws him into a shark tank, and then you have another flashback about how you met your wife. It's a whole story where you're like on a ship and you have to pretend to be the captain, and Fujimoto's there. Whole story, play it for yourself. It's pretty funny, actually. And then Fujimoto tries his best to kill you, and you have to defeat him. And that's pretty much the whole game.
Yeah.
Honestly, anything you want to add?
Yeah, it's so like weird at like the end, because like he like forgives like Chef Fujimoto, right? And then like even though like his family is like, oh yeah, he's an octopus, like the only one to realize it was Susie, honestly.
Yeah, that was a weird take. I was at the end where I was just like, she like knew all along that he was an octopus, but his family didn't know he was an octopus. And then there's this one little weird line too. And again, spoilers, guys. We're talking about the end of the game at the beginning of the podcast. Essentially, Tommy goes, "But if you're an octopus, how did we get here?" And everybody laughs. And he goes, "No, but really."
Yeah, and then it just cuts.
Like, how does the wife know that he's an octopus? That's a huge glaring plot hole. Let's dissect this plot hole. Let's spend 40 hours dissecting this plot hole.
Right. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't. Goddamn. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
how
want to
could you?
know the custom made levels that involve like an octopus and his wife. Like I'm
Not
just
interested
saying.
in watching
Like
the custom made levels. I'd be
there's a lot of
I'd,
mods to this game, probably level based wise, and people get really creative on the internet. Let's just say that.
we're going with creative. That's the word we're using. And we did pull the game up, guys. We are a live podcast. So if you're interested in seeing what the game looks like or us, our pretty faces, you can always check us out. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So, or we're also, our VODs are on YouTube as well. So, anyways, with that being said, we've covered the storyline. Let's move into the graphics and art.
Graphics and art.
I'll let you take this one away because I have no idea what to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice kind of. I mean, it's a good 3D built game. Like, it's not gonna blow you away graphically, but it's a nice simple thing that you're gonna understand and kind of appreciate. The graphics are really secondary in this game comparatively to everything else, but I mean, it's reminiscent of GameCube graphics, but to like a PC kind of era game in a way. Like I don't know how to perfectly describe like this 3D game, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
I
more
think I
of
would. Oh, sorry. You
I
finish.
was
My
gonna
bad.
say more of the graphics that are appealing to me are honestly based on the movement itself. Like in this game, the way you move and the way your character interacts and the way your limbs move around, that's visibly probably the best thing in this game. Watching him affect literally everything is perfect. I don't know if physics can be built under like
No, I think
something.
physics would be part of graphics and art for sure.
Yeah, because the physics perfectly fit this game that it like makes the motion like perfect, like art wise, like if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that the easiest way I could describe this game is with how it looks would probably be like Wii era graphics.
Yeah.
Like when the Wii was out. I mean, like you played like I'm trying to think like Sonic Riders or like Super Smash Bros. Melee on the Wii. Like those era graphics where are perfectly like the 3D feel of those things are pretty similar to this game. Like the smooth edges, the colors, the shadowing, everything about it kind of feels like Wii era graphics to me. And that works perfectly for this game. I totally agree with what Tom was saying that the funniest or best visually looking part of this game is probably the physics and how your character itself interacts with the environment, and how many things are just destructible. I think that that's probably one of the best parts about it being graphically, is it's just like everything is destructible and they had to like animate all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like not gonna lie, they definitely took a lot of time in doing that, and it was pretty awesome that way. Honestly, one random thing I just noticed was a pane mirror that was like a church, and it was Cthulhu. I
Mhm.
totally didn't even realize that while playing this game. It's one of those slight things you pick up, but that's a pretty funny, awesome little touch,
Yeah,
honestly.
there's a
Like,
bunch of little Easter eggs like that all over the game. I streamed this game before the new year, and that was one of the first things I noticed. Actually, like I went back and clipped my stream event, and I was like Cthulhu, like in the stream, I was like, oh hey Cthulhu, but no, definitely. Honestly, there's not a lot we could talk about graphically with this game. I mean, I don't know the specifics of how it was made. We didn't really do that much research, so I can only say that it looks like we age technology.
yeah, honestly, like it's nothing that's gonna blow you away graphically. Why it's like I mean, it's a game made like almost a decade ago. You gotta, but it still holds up. That it doesn't need to be graphically appealing to be a good game.
Yeah, a hot take or not a hot take, an interesting thing I think that they did with because it is a 3D game, you're moving around in a 3D space and you're a 3D person, is when a lot of things that you need to interact with are directly behind your character. So when you're but you're playing from like a behind the character view. I'm trying to think like the third party. You're playing like third party perspective. So when you're looking through your character, when you're trying to reach for something that's in front of your character, it makes your character see through. Which is like I don't know. That's like I don't see that in a lot of games nowadays. I was just thinking about that right now.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It definitely takes me back to that time and my innocence of playing video games. So I kind of do love
it's
that too.
nostalgic. It's fully nostalgic. I think that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about it was how it just felt like I was playing an older game and I was having a good time with it, like almost an emulator. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, I
Cool.
definitely get that.
Well, I think that covers most of graphics and art. Let's move on to sound and music.
Sounds and music.
I'll start this one, I guess. I don't think there's a lot we can do with graphic or sound and music. It has pretty good sound all the way through. Like all the sound effects are pretty good. All the shattering is pretty good. There's a lot of voice acting in it. I'll talk about voice acting more later, but I think the best sound that you get is the octopus sounds. They're pretty funny. Like he makes like little like Tom made at the beginning, like brr, 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 sounds.
Yeah, like it's perfect.
Other than that, I think it's a pretty stereotypical. Like the music is pretty. It fits the environment. The sounds of you knocking shit over is really good. The breakable sounds are really good. The only like music I can think of like offhand is the last like boss battle. The music during the credits and the when you're swimming through the shark tank. Those are like the only musics I can really think of that stood out to me a lot.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. You know, it wasn't too outstanding of music, but the sound effects were definitely there and fun and funny. Like every time, you know, like the classic cartoon sound effects, like when you slip on a banana peel. You know, picture those sound effects just throughout the game, no matter what you're doing. But they're classic. They sound good, you know, and they're a fun time and fit what you're going for really well in this kind of game. So
Yeah, and I think the mainly something that we didn't fully mention was that I think this game was meant to be more of a comedic game than anything else. Like it's a story driven game, but it's more of a comedy, like a feel good comedy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Almost a rom com. It has elements of rom com in it.
yeah, like the weirdest rom com ever conceived, but yes, rom com vibe.
Definitely. But yeah, I really think that the best sound was for sure the voice acting was a huge one that I have mixed feelings about it, but I'll talk about that later. But like there was a lot of voice acting. Most characters had voice acting. You didn't have to read almost anything, so that was pretty nice. I'm a sucker for voice acting. I love it. I love it when games have it. And the music was fitting and the sound effects were well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know.
Awesome. Well, let's move on to features and content.
Features and content.
Where do you want to, for everyone else who's new here, has never been to the podcast or listened to it, features and content is where we throw everything that doesn't really fit anywhere else. So, what do you want to talk about first, Tom, in features and content?
Right. This is weird, and I know we normally talk about like controls last, but I feel like we should almost talk about controls first, right? In this game.
Oh. Well, hold
In
on.
a
Let me
way.
play a button. Let me push the button then.
Movement and controls.
Okay, now
All right.
now it's official. Now it's official. We have a button for that. All right,
But
go ahead.
yeah, the reason I want to talk about controls first is it's such a major chunk of this game, and anyone who's like kind of played this game knows what I mean. But okay, so essentially, each one of your buttons that you press controls any given limb, like button a leg, and you have to constantly move that one into position and then use your other button to move your other leg into position. And you have to use, did you use a controller for this? Right?
I definitely used a controller. There was no way I would have tried this on mouse and keyboard at all.
Yeah, absolutely no way. But yeah, using double stick and getting used to that feature is fucking goddamn oh my god.
It took
I
a
was gonna say
while.
you just
Yeah.
played this game, so you know exactly how to describe like the controls of it.
So yeah, I'll swoop in and take over since I did just play right before the new year. Yeah, I had no idea what I was getting into when this game was suggested for me to play. I did not understand the controls at all. This is a relatively short game. I think it's only like 4 or 5 hours total. I didn't get like fully understand and be able to move efficiently until like hour 4. Like truly, I was like messing up nonstop, and I think that's part of the charm of the game, though, for sure. Because like you're supposed to be doing these little mundane tasks, like, "Honey, can you make me a pot of coffee?" And then you like try to reach for the coffee and knock down like 20 other things, and accidentally throw a chair at your fucking wife.
Yeah,
Like it's part of the charm of Octodad is the movement. I don't know. I really loved it though. It's very unique, and there's a couple other games that it reminds me of, but it's very unique in the way that you do the movement and control. So I'm glad we talked about that first.
yeah, like it is. I've never had a game so hard to move in since QWOP. Literally, like
Yeah.
it is borderline impossible to fucking just stay upright in this game and do anything, correctly.
Or even like getting your hands like stuck on things is a huge other part of it. Like you're just trying to like open a fridge and you're like, I can't get my hand off, and you forget that you're holding the button to like stick to the fridge. It is a lot of remembering what you're supposed to be doing and trying to figure out how to do it at the same time without drawing too much attention to yourself, because you're trying to make sure they know that you're their dad and not an octopus. Definitely not
Right.
an octopus.
Right. The way I'll describe it to like, okay, so imagine you have like a mech, right? Now that mech has fucking goddamn rubber snake fucking legs, and you have like 4 levers and 2 buttons on each side that you constantly need to hold and move about to control each leg and arm simultaneously. That's basically controlling this character all the time, so you're just constantly trying to hit different levers and make it work, and you can somewhat get it to function right, never fully understanding how you're going forward, but you'll kind of make it there. You won't ever fully get the grasp of it, but
I think the only thing I'd add to that is like everything Tom said, but also you're drunk.
yeah, exactly.
That's Octodad. That's how it feels to play. And like it's worth it though. Like the controls alone are an experience and a half. Definitely. If anything else you want to add about movement and controls, I'll play it with a
uh,
controller. That's what I would say for
yeah,
sure.
indefinitely play with the controller, like, my god. I just want to try this game with like different fucking controllers. I wonder if you could program different controller schemes.
Oh, you can. Bro, it'd be really fun. We should make Devin play this, and we should make him use a dance pad.
Oh my god. I bet you could do it. I
Oh
bet
yeah, it
you
wouldn't be that
could.
hard. There's programs you can download that remap controller, so like it could definitely be done pretty easy.
God damn. That
Well,
would be
dang.
so
Now I want to do it.
impressive. That'd be so impressive.
Suggest it to him later. Yeah, I think that starting out with the movement and controls, that was a really good idea before we move into features and content. So let's go back in time.
Features and content.
So we talked about the movement and controls.
Yeah.
I guess I'll throw in the fact that there is a fair amount of puzzles in this game.
Mhm.
I don't think that puzzles is like the right word, because it's mostly just like trying to get through the level with your movement and controls. Like it's less puzzles and more you just trying to do mundane things with having the world's craziest controls.
Yeah. Like, you ever see your dad really frustrated to be able to do like the most fucking basic thing ever? That's basically this fucking game. Like,
No, by that point he was already hitting me, so I didn't see it. Trauma. Trigger warning, I guess. No, but I agree. Yeah, I don't know, but puzzles are. I wouldn't say that they're puzzles, but they
yeah.
are at the same time. It's like a weird gray area on puzzles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not meant to be a puzzle, but it's so difficult to do these tasks that are so easy that it basically becomes a puzzle, you know? Like
It's
the fact that you
legally
figure out
classified
yeah,
as a puzzle.
yeah. You have to figure out how to like fucking pick up a ball or like, mow the lawn or start a grill. Yeah, you're having a bad day. Like
It sucks. It's the worst. Definitely.
right.
What else do you want to talk about?
Definitely like a big part of this game is like maintaining like kind of seeming normal, right? So there's like little sight bars on you all the time from like people watching you. It could be your kids, it could be like regular people, it could be whoever, but the whole point of this game is to like make sure you like look normal. So like if you do something out of ordinary or like something that people think is weird, you get like a little bit more on your bar of like sight line, and eventually they're gonna bust you for being an octopus. Like
Which is the
eh,
worst thing that could happen.
yeah, and then you restart the level. But it's like it's a really fun concept just to be like, oh, your literal whole objective is to be just normal. You're just trying to fit in and
Mhm.
make sure that people think you're dad. Like,
I think that this game added, I mean, it is a pretty like, old game. It's like 10 years old we were talking about. So I think it came before where you had to choose what you wanted to put in a game. Like you could choose to put specifically this game just like threw the whole kitchen sink at a game. It's like, hey, we have puzzles, we have stealth-based stuff, we got story, we got comedy, we got movement controls. Like it just threw the whole kitchen sink into one game. And then it was like, okay, here you go, here's the game. And I think that that's a really interesting concept because like Tom was talking about, like it has stealth. Like that's wild. Why does it have that?
because it just was like, you know what, this game is hard enough. Let's add sneaking into a game where you can literally not walk forward correctly. Like, good.
I bet you, dude, someone should just take this game and like reskin it nowadays and then just like call it like Drunk Simulator. It
It could definitely
would
work.
work. It would
Yeah,
work.
right.
Definitely.
Goddamn,
Um,
put these controls in the new Metal Gear Solid and see how it works out. Like,
new Call of Duty controls.
oh my fucking dude, if they made like a third person shooter with these fucking controls.
I would honestly, I'd try to go pro. I'd try to go pro, like, cause like, could you imagine how like how much like how rewarding that would be to be good at something like that? Like I am the best at this game that no one is even slightly good at.
Right, this is the weirdest fucking goddamn shooter I've ever played.
I have 65 million hours in Octodad. I'm ready for this.
Fucking waited his whole life for this fucking moment. Like,
I bet, bro. Another thing that is a big part of this game, is definitely that there's a lot of levels, a lot of different levels. They're split into like they're split up, but they're very distinct. So like there's like the house, and then there's like the aquarium, and there's the grocery store. Like there's various different levels, and each level has different rooms and different tasks you have to do to leave the rooms. It builds on top of itself. But I think that each level was incredibly well built. And did you have a favorite one by chance? Like out of them?
I randomly really like the grocery store. I
I
thought,
did too. I really did too. I was gonna say that one. So
yeah, it's a pretty funny level, honestly. Just everything about it is just pure comedy for the sake of being fucking funny. It's a level.
I think one of the best parts of the grocery store level is where you have to steal the flakes, the cereal, out of the woman's basket when she's not looking.
Oh yeah, yeah, because your son needs those fucking goddamn cereal. Like, God.
I think honestly, if we're being completely transparent, if anything, this game just convinced me that I don't want to have a family even more. More than anything, if being a dad
uh,
is this hard, no, thank you. I'm a quitter.
it's so brutal. I will say, like, the hardest like level in this game is definitely like the kelp tower.
Oh
It's
my god,
like,
in the aquarium, yeah, it sucked. It was so hard. You watched me struggle with that for how long? I don't even
oh
know.
yeah, oh yeah.
Half hour.
I was like kind of watching shows, and then I seen like you coming up on the kelp tower, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta watch this fucking part so intently because this is. I'm like, buckle up, bitch, and you're like, why is this the hardest part? And literally watch you fall like 6 times all the way back to the fucking bottom of that shit. I'm like, oh my god,
Bro,
yeah,
it's like the way I describe the Kelp Tower is like imagine like American Ninja Warrior, but with these controls.
yeah.
That's the Kelp Tower. Like, why? Whoever designed that, I'm gonna find you, because there was a lot. It was a lot, and I hated it.
It's such a monster, like, even, like, the harder like, there are some harder levels, but the fact that that one just knocks you, like, 10 minutes down, like, is just so brutal, like
And it's like it honestly felt like it gave a chance to try to get back up every time. Like you may get up, who knows, or your leg might fly a completely different way, and you'll jump off the tower. Dude, I swear to God, I was clipping it the other day. I'm making an edit of me like taking a step in the wrong direction and plummeting from the top of the tower, and then I'm just gonna put like the GTA wasted thing when I hit the bottom, because like that's what it felt like. It just like you drop so far.
it's so bad, honestly, just watching your octopus self ragdoll down. Oh, worst feeling in the world.
Definitely. Anything else you want to talk about for features and content?
I mean, not really. There's not like a lot more to kind of talk about, like content wise. It's a very short and sweet game, but the things it does offer is really fun, you know?
Definitely, yeah. This is definitely be one of our shorter episodes, but I will say, we forgot to mention that there is also like if this isn't enough content for you, there is also two DLCs that you can get. Apparently two DLC levels. One where you take your wife out on your first date, and one where Tommy and Stacy make up a story of Octodad as a nurse, which I have not played either of those, so I don't know if they're any good. I cannot recommend them by chance.
Dude, you should definitely play those. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you ever like stream it again or even off topic, like those are really cool levels. It'll only take you about like an hour to get through both of them, but like especially the nurse one is really funny. Like, it's
Okay,
pretty
I'll look
good.
into it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But no, yeah, it was I mean there's not a lot of content to talk about with this game. Like you said, it's from a very long time ago. It's a sequel to another game. But it's I think it's definitely worth the playthrough, but we'll talk about our final like judgment in actually yeah, right now. We're about to get into closing thoughts. Shit. I am getting ahead of myself. That's fine. Let's go to closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts.
As you can tell, we haven't done this in a couple weeks, so I'm pretty out of it.
Been a long few weeks, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you put this on a replayability factor, Tom?
Honestly, like it's weird. It's such like a short and sweet game, and it doesn't overstay its welcome that eventually you'll just get kind of like the itch to randomly kind of play it again, you know? I mean, sometimes you can be one and done. Like, honestly, it's the same game no matter what. But like kind of like once you get a handle of the controls, it's kind of just fun to play again just to see like how good you got. And then like I think this game would honestly be really fun to watch speedruns of, to be quite honest. Like I'm not generally into speedruns, but watching someone masterfully at these controls like do it like perfectly would probably be insane, honestly, you know.
Definitely. I think on a replayability scale, I think now I played it once, I'd probably play it again for sure. I think that I'd make it more enjoyable because I felt like when I got through it the first time, it was mostly just a frustration about controls, and like I enjoyed it. It was fun, but I'm talking about like if I play it again this time, I'd be like joking around a lot more, like grabbing random stuff and putting it places, like giving people sunglasses in the grocery store, or messing with stuff in the aquarium that I shouldn't, like just like having more fun with it than I did initially the first time. And even though it is the same game, it's never gonna be the same outcome. Well, it's gonna be the same outcome, but it's how you get there is gonna be just as fun either way because the movement is not gonna get old ever.
Yeah, honestly, it's like one of those games, like, as long as you don't take seriously, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like, if you're having, like, a bad day, just watching him move about, or, like, fucking sometimes just twerking that octopus body, Like really gets you to chuckle, you know? Like goddamn.
Definitely. And I'd also love to try out because I didn't try out the multiplayer mod. I'd love to try that too, just to see what that's about.
Right?
Because I feel like that would really enhance the replayability for sure.
Right. Could you imagine each? I think it's online too. So could you imagine each of us taking a control of a fucking limb and trying this game?
Trying
It
to
would.
work together. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh,
that could be
that
fun.
sounds so bad, but amazing at the same time.
Definitely would give that a go.
This 3-hour game turned into 9, but
Probably. Where would you put this game on a fun factor?
probably up there at like just since it's so nice and short and sweet, probably at a good like 8.5. Like yeah, like it doesn't overstay like its welcome. It's very nice and cheery. Like puts a good smile on your face. You know, it's one of those perfect like kind of comedy games, and you don't really kind of see those too often. You know, so
Yeah, I think I definitely agree. I would definitely put it at like at least an 8 for sure. Possibly an 8.5. I would probably put it 8.5 if I got to play the multiplayer version. I think that would really crank it up a little bit for me. But definitely an 8 just for the pure what feels like nostalgia, you know, everything in the kitchen sink kind of vibe that this game gives you. Like there's no set genre for it, and I love that because now I feel like in today's world we're so like stuck on making your game. It's like Hollow Knight, but X, Y, and Z is different. You know what I mean? And this game was like, it's just this. It's just this mess of a game that is beautiful. You know, so I really appreciated it, and I definitely give it an 8, at least an 8.
yeah.
Hell yeah. What was your favorite and or least favorite part of the game?
God damn, I really did think of. I mean, honestly, my favorite part is just when you do get frustrated in this game, the fact that you can just do something completely silly and off the rails and have fun for a good, like, solid few minutes and get back to just the enjoyment of it is really something that needs to be appreciated. You know,
Yeah,
like, it's so hard to do that in so many games, especially one with such frustrating controls. But the fact that it is frustrating controls with such a doofus kind of a fucking character, it can't help but make you smile, you know?
for sure. Do you have a least favorite part?
The fucking kelp tower. I wanna set that fucking goddamn children's fucking tower on fire. Them kids making me look like I'm fucking nothing, you know? Like
Come on, hurry up! Shut up, I'm coming.
Tommy, you piece of shit. Like fucking you have elbows. Fuck yourself. Like
You have joints. Hate it here. I think for sure my favorite part of the game was all the little Easter eggs. For sure. Was all the little like just funny things that you can do or can't do, the destructible physics, and also just like like the hats. Like the hats were a big part of it that I like. You can just walk around and like put stuff on your head and it'll stay there. But also just like Easter eggs in general. Like it references a lot of other games from the time and just like little drawings or like the Cthulhu window, like just stuff you don't recognize in your first playthrough that you recognize by watching someone else play or by taking your time on a second playthrough. I think that little Easter eggs really just make things better for me.
yeah, that is true, you know. Everyone definitely can appreciate a good Easter egg in a game, and this one hides them like almost in plain sight very well. So
For sure. And then my least favorite, and this is why I kept saying I would get to the voice acting. I fucking hate the wife and the kids. Not the voice actors; they're fine. I hate them as people. The in the game, they're the most like annoying, like self-centered, like pieces of shit. Your wife is terrible to you in this game. Just so everyone's aware, like it's bad. Like your wife is like, you're kind of a terrible father, like essentially, and you're like blah 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 blah, and you like win her a bunch of prizes. That she's like, I hate you. I hope you die. So I don't know. I hated the wife, and the kids were super annoying. So my rundown of this
fair.
for least favorite. But they had voice acting, which is all I love voice acting, but they could have been less mean to the Octodad.
God damn. Sean's like over here, like, you know what? I'm gonna mod my own level, like Octodad Divorce Court. Like, fucking.
Fucking why not? It'd probably be a pretty popular level. I when I was streaming it, everyone was like, "No, I agree with you." Like, so apparently it's a pretty common feeling. Um, make a Steam review. Octodad Divorce Court. That's gonna be the third one. I'm gonna make it all myself, funded by
Oh my
this
God.
podcast. Is there any games that this game reminds you of?
Let's see. If any of you have played like either I Am Bread or anything like that, or like I Am Fish, you know, like
Oh
either,
yeah.
yeah,
Didn't
like
didn't I Am Fish, like the developers of that, make this game?
yeah, I'm pretty sure that they
I'll look it up.
each made it each other. So anything along those regards where the controls are just super wacky or out there, and you're just trying to do like a mundane kind of thing, like in those games, like in I Am Bread, you're literally just bread trying to make itself into toast. But controlling a piece of bread is, you know, I don't know how to describe controlling a piece of bread other than that game is like even weirder than this one. So
Yeah, apparently they did not make this game. That's so interesting. They're similar. I honestly thought that they were from the same developers, but they are not. I Am Bread and I Am Fish are from Bossa Games.
oh, okay.
They
So
also
yeah.
make Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Surgeon Simulator is definitely another one. I didn't even think of that game. Have you played that one yet,
No,
dude?
I'm looking at it right now. I never even seen
Oh
it.
my god, I'm gonna recommend that one to you because that game is just straight up crazy as shit. Like,
Good to
like,
know. Good to know.
yeah, that one is even more ridiculous. Like, yeah.
I think the only game that this reminded me of that I could think of, and I kept saying it the entire time I was playing it, and we said it multiple times through this podcast, was definitely Quap. If anyone remembers Quap,
Ooh,
it was an internet game where you're a track runner and you have to control like your legs and the ligaments and stuff in your legs individually. And it was just like a flash game, and I cannot tell you how much time. And basically, the whole thing was you're just trying to run as far as you can with the terrible controls of controlling each like ligament in your leg.
yeah.
And that's pretty much this game was the same like feeling of controls. I haven't felt that in years, so that's what it reminded me of for sure.
Yeah, Quap has some crazy ass controls. Just
I don't even know if it still exists.
it's just QUAP, and it is literally that's all you press. But fuck, dude, like controlling a person fully with that impossible. I will say.
I think it's actually QUOP according to this.
Oh, it is. I think it is.
Yep, QUOP. Apparently it released in 2018. We really need to make we're thinking about it, chat, where we make like smaller episodes where we review flash games. So
Yeah.
we're thinking about it. It's something we're thinking about doing. But like
Right.
that is definitely a game that it reminds me of is Quap. But anyways, lastly, how much would you recommend this game, and who would you recommend it to, Tom?
I would recommend this game like a nice like, 8 probably because like it's just like I said, it's short. It
Hold on,
doesn't really.
hold on. I gotta show you something. Holy
Mm.
shit! I just because we have the thing up. Look in the corner here. They reference Quap.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Easter egg.
QWOP. Wow, perfect.
Okay, sorry, totally read it. We have the game up. Just for reference, guys. We live podcast have the game up in the background. And we were talking about Easter eggs earlier. In the corner of the room that Octodad is in, it says "quality workmanships over prices," and it says "Quap" highlighted. That's sorry. What weird timing? Just saw that. Blew my mind. Continue,
Yeah.
Tom.
No, that's
Rec-
definitely like I said, little Easter eggs in there. But I think this game is like perfect. It doesn't overstay its like welcome or nothing. Like I think it's a fun little breather of a different game. You're not really gonna experience too many like this. We referenced a few like it and stuff. This one is definitely more different. So.
And is there anyone in particular you'd recommend it to?
I think I would recommend this to like just anyone that's looking for like, when you're always like, I want to play something different. Here you go. Fucking here is your different ass game. I don't think you can get more different, honestly. So
For sure, no, I totally agree with that. Especially with everyone complaining all the time that oh, there's no new games, nothing is good. Like just because it's older, just because this game is 10 years old. I mean, I played it literally last month, had a blast with it. So it's one of those games that, just like Tom said, you should definitely give it a spin if you want something different, or even for replayability. It's pretty fun. If you played this game 10 years ago, play it again, see if it holds up.
yeah,
I
honestly.
I would definitely recommend this game. I'd give it like a 7 or 8 on the recommendation scale. I think that it could be super fun to do the multiplayer. I'm actually super interested in doing the multiplayer, so we'll try that and maybe do an update later. But I think that would also be an interesting thing to see and to try.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it's worth a go.
Awesome. Well, would we miss anything? Or you think that's everything?
I think that's basically everything we need to talk about with this game. So
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, hey guys, thanks so much for sticking with us through our massive break we took at the end of the year, and also coming back in the new year. Happy New Year, all you guys out there. I'm trying to think. We'll be back next week for sure. We're not going anywhere, assuming my internet provider lets me. That's a whole nother story. We'll be back next week. But until then, if you're a developer that wants to talk about your indie game with us, please send us an email. It's blockbrospodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's blockbrospodcast@gmail.com. And if you have a game that you'd like us to talk about, you can always drop us a line on any of our socials. It should just be Block Bros Podcast or Block Bros Pod on every single social. If you haven't yet, make sure to rate us on either Apple Music or Spotify. It helps us reach a wider audience. Block Bros Podcast streams live to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube every Tuesday evening. So if you want to come see our pretty faces or the game we're talking about, that's where we'll be. Opening music is 8-Bit Fun by the Heatley Bros. And of course, guys, Block Bros Podcast is and always will be a Lost Cause media production. Until next week, bye.
bye.
Lost Cause Media.